So here's a quick disclaimer for this video. As I was almost done editing this video, I saw that Nintendo finally announced a Nintendo Direct for Animal Crossing. So this is a game-specific Nintendo Direct. This video is talking about the lack of a general Nintendo Direct, which we still haven't gotten. I do think it's a bit perplexing. Needless to say, I am excited for this Animal Crossing Direct. I can't wait for it. We will be streaming it and talking about it when it is coming out this Thursday. But this video is about the lack of a general Nintendo Direct. Welcome everyone, this is AndresRestart, and this time I'm just going to be giving you guys my take on this Nintendo Direct drought that we're on, and sort of my own thoughts on why this may be happening, and also kind of talking about this sort of narrative going around by some people suggesting that 2020 isn't going to have very many games because there haven't been very many games announced. So, obviously at this point, most people have been wrong about their predictions about when a Direct would happen this year. It just hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, and it's unexpected. We're looking at one of the longest droughts, if not the longest drought, for a general Nintendo Direct ever. It's been ridiculous, I guess, and I have to wonder why. And really, I'm just speculating here. I don't have any clear-cut answers as to exactly why it's happening. It could just be Nintendo's being Nintendo. I am hesitant to suggest that maybe it has anything to do with the coronavirus. We know that that's a serious issue over in the East, and it is affecting manufacturing. So perhaps this manufacturing issue could be somehow tied to this lack of a Nintendo Direct. I think that could maybe be possible, but at the same time, I don't really understand everything that goes into that, so I don't want to say for sure that that is the reason why. But I can maybe envision a scenario where, given that manufacturing is limited, maybe manufacturing of some actual games could also be limited in some areas, and if that's the case, that could affect the release dates for certain things, and if the release date for certain products are being delayed or need to be sort of moved around, that could greatly impact the Nintendo Direct, because maybe this Nintendo Direct had those release dates, and that's going to have to be changed around. So delaying the Direct a few weeks may be what is happening, and that could be why we haven't seen a Nintendo Direct yet. But that's my own personal speculation, and that's based off just what I just explained now. I really don't have a strong knowledge of the manufacturing process, so I don't really want to just sort of spread out my opinion as if it's fact. I don't know. That's just what I'm speculating that could be one reason why. It also could just be the fact that Nintendo is Nintendo, and they tend to do things that are unexpected, and maybe they're just sort of delaying things. Maybe they felt that the Smash presentation of the Pokemon Direct in January were enough to tide us over until maybe a March Nintendo Direct. I guess. I personally think that would be bad. I don't think that's smart. Oh, I just rubbed this paper, which actually I have something written down in this paper I'll talk about in a moment. But the point is, I think it's weird. Obviously, it's unexpected. And it could be that, and if that is the case, that it's related to the virus, that is unfortunate, but, you know, these things happen, and I hope things work out over there, because this is a serious issue with this coronavirus. But I'm not going to really get into that, because it's not a political channel or anything of that nature. But yeah, that could maybe be the reason why. Besides that, people have been talking about this year not having that many games. Maybe that's why there's no Nintendo Direct, because there's not that many things to announce. I don't think that's the case at all, really. And I'm going to go ahead and read this paper. I was just bored the other day. I talked about this in the podcast, but if we go back to the year 2012, right? In the year 2012, this is combining published games for both the 3DS and the Wii U. Now, keep in mind, I'm taking this information from a Nintendo fan wiki page, so it could maybe be somewhat inaccurate, but it should at least be giving us a decent ballpark. So in 2012, for 3DS and Wii U games combined, in terms of published products from Nintendo, or at least something Nintendo had a hand in publishing, there were 17. In 2013, there were 30. In 2014, there were 26. In 2015, there were 27. In 2016, there were 29. Now, at this point, the Wii U pretty much died out, and the 3DS starts to taper off in the next couple of years, and the Switch starts to take full force. So in 2017, combining both 3DS, Switch, and the one Breath of the Wild Wii U game, 2017 had 27 games published by Nintendo. 2018 had 22 from the Switch and 3DS, and 2019 had 20. So if you look at these last couple years, the numbers are a little bit lower. Looking through 2013 through 2016, we got 30, 26, 27, 29. Then 2017 through 2019, it's 27, 22, and 20. The averages here are lower than what they used to be. So then, does that mean that Nintendo is making less games than they used to? Yes, they are. But that doesn't mean they aren't putting in more work. You see, with the Nintendo Switch, a lot of people sort of envisioned that now that Nintendo's focusing on one singular platform, the 3DS has pretty much died off, and they're focusing all of their development efforts from their different studios that worked on both handheld and console on the Switch. They are doing that, so why is there less games? Well, the thing is, back during the 3DS and the Wii U, and before that, like with GameCube and Game Boy, Nintendo had two different platforms that they needed to support, and oftentimes by supporting two different platforms, they found themselves a little bit thinly spread. So what they sort of started to do, I believe, they started putting out other games that were smaller, and by using these smaller products in conjunction with their bigger products, they were able to sort of fill up the lineup a little bit because they had a strong lack of third-party support. Now on the Switch has much better third-party support than prior consoles with Nintendo, so those gaps aren't as bad as they used to. But on top of that, because Nintendo doesn't need to do that anymore and they have more to focus on with just one platform, instead of putting out a whole bunch of little games, it seems like, to me, in my opinion, that they're actually focusing their efforts on creating just more quality titles. So instead of quantity, Nintendo's focusing on a little bit more quality now. So that's why I think the number of published games has dropped down a little bit. It's not less effort, it's more effort. And if we go over the numbers, we're talking about the low 20s here. That's still more Nintendo published games than there are months in the year. So I think on average, we should be getting more than one Nintendo game per month. There are going to be months where we don't get any Nintendo published game. For example, I'm recording this in February 2020, and as far as I'm aware, there are no published Nintendo games coming out in this month. But that doesn't mean the rest of the year won't have some strong support. I believe there definitely will be strong support. We are approaching the 3rd-year anniversary for the Nintendo Switch, and typically by this time in a console's life cycle, the 3rd and 4th year, we start to see the 2nd generation of games developed for this system, and the 2nd generation of games developed will be that time where developers are more accustomed to the system, and they have a better understanding of what to do and how they can maximize the system, and thus the games tend to be better. So basically, I expect this year to be a very strong year for the Nintendo Switch, despite the lack of a Nintendo Direct and announcements for the year, despite the fact that we know nothing besides Animal Crossing and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I have a strong belief that this year is going to be great. We just kind of have to be patient about it, and when that Nintendo Direct does happen, whether it's tomorrow or next week or next month or by E3, which oh my god, I can't believe I'm even suggesting that as a possibility, it's going to be great. And I'm not worried. I mean, if there's no way it's going to be E3 because we need to have games before that point. So I'm not concerned. Point is, it's going to happen. It's just kind of a matter of when. Sometimes there may have been an internal delay, right? That's possible. But regardless, when that Direct comes, whether it's a week or so from now, a day from now, or a month from now, there's going to be a lot of cool game announcements. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be the best Direct of all time, but I think it's going to be a solid one. And they will fill out most of the months leading up until E3 with this Direct, and then at E3 we'll learn about the rest of the year. Those are my expectations. I'm not too concerned about it, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. This is AndresRestart, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care.